Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And this video we're going to start doing some work at this end module here where the coal mine is leaving, and I've pretty well decided that this is going to end up being a distillery to stick with the theme of Whisky Creek. So if you saw in my last layout update, I was mulling around some ideas, and I think I've come up with an idea that I'm going to go with. So first things first, we need to start removing stuff from this area. These are just some trees that I threw down just for the sake of throwing them down to help generate some scenery for the area. So not a big loss here. And this structure, I already have a possibility of repurposing this, and this may actually go to my dad to his layout so he can have a coal mine. We'll start taking some of these cars out. I probably could have done something fancy and actually used a switcher and taking them out for one last spin, but a lot of them have been bumped around and they're not even on the track anymore. So I put down some of this cork to be able to sort of raise up the coal mine. I don't foresee that I'm going to need them right now, so I'm going to take them up as well. What I typically use for all my cork roadbed is basically like a gray caulking. So it holds it in place when it needs to, but if you need to take it up, then it comes up fairly easily without a lot of headache. Get the area a little clean. Probably could have got a vacuum to do this, but all right. So what I've made up for now is basically some cardboard cutouts. And so for this one, for example, written down some information about what kit I am thinking about putting there. So looking at one of the DPM kits, the grips luggage. And this one measures 7 3/4 inch by 4 inches. And what I'm going to use that for is for bottling and shipping. And I even wrote down some thoughts about, you know, it's going to have outbound cars using with cased whiskey in it, and it has a little platform for trucks. So I wanted to put that down just so then also for spacing, I may not want it to be so deep into the little cave area here. So might want to actually have it a little bit farther up so then there's room for trucks to sort of come in and out. And that's going to be associated with track 1, track 2, and then track 1 is going to be the blending house. So what I'm going to have happening is coming in on this track, we're using tank cars. Those will be coming in from an offsite that does all the actual distillery of the alcohol, and is going to bring in basically an overproof alcohol by tank car, and then using the most likely the DPM Goodnight mattress. That's going to be the blending house. So the tank cars come in, they do the final mixing, and then I'll have some hosing or some type of piping that will go from this building over top of the tracks to this building, and then inside this building then it'll actually get bottled up and put into cases and then either shipped out by truck or shipped out by boxcar. So one of the benefits I'm finding, especially with laying out the plan and getting to physically see how everything lays out, you can see here on the right, this is the proposed area where the actual creek's gonna end up going. And again, if you watch my last video, I haven't really wanted to do a lot of in this area because I haven't really figured out what I want to do with this area. So hopefully once I get more established over here, then I can sort of work my way over back this way and start doing the actual creek itself. So with another bridge going to go in here, it's going to be basically like a low wooden trestle. There's not really a lot of room to be able to move this switch. So to have two tracks here, can't really take that switch out. But what I'm finding, especially now since these, previously I was using obviously these smaller open hopper cars, and this allowed me to have multiple of them. Had 3, possibly 4 being able to stage as part of the coal mine. With the larger tankers, I need to have it basically around here to be able to leave enough clearance for the second track. So obviously you don't have anything bumping into here. So the unloading area will probably actually have to be rigged up to around here. Whether or not, I have to sort of figure out and do a little bit more research on whether or not they would be emptying stuff from up above or whether or not it'd be coming down below. I don't know that much about tank cars and how they kind of work in that sense, so I still got to figure that stuff out. Still lots to learn, and that's kind of the cool thing about the hobby, is you learn stuff. So having 2 cars staged in this area or dropped off here, then I could have one unloading, and then obviously the crew here would be able to move it down, unload a second car, and then that leaves a little bit of room, but there's not enough to be able to have a third car here. So really just restricted to be able to have 2 cars here coming in to unload, go through the blending process, and then spit back out. And then same type of deal, we have room here for some of our box cars. Just because of the curve here, the unloading area should be focused, sorry, the loading area, because this is where we're loading stuff into box cars to head out. Some cased whiskey ready to go. So the loading area will have to be in that area. So again, they could be staged down, either staged like this, load up one and then move it down, or vice versa. So then it's ready to go, but then need to have enough clearance for the tank cars to be able to come back out again. But that's the important thing of being able to visually see everything and actually have some sort of tangible physicality to everything. It's one thing to be able to draw it on a computer and think that everything's going to work out, but having everything here, because I need to be able to have this building in a certain location so then I can have the trucks coming and going. It needs to be in close proximity to this building because we have to have the piping connecting the two to be able to transfer the fluids once they're blended to get bottled up over here. So we need to have them spaced in a certain way, and then the switch obviously plays a part, as well as the creek over here. So everything all ties together, but at least I have a plan, and now I'm going to sort of leave it like this for the next foreseeable future. I'm not going to start necessarily building any of these. I'm positive I have this one. I don't remember, I thought I had it, but I can't seem to find it, so I need to have to find it or get a new one. But I was pretty sure that I had that somewhere in a box. So I may actually have both of these kits, so that kind of works out really well. Another kit I was looking at was one of the paper mill ones through Walthers. The footprint of them is absolutely massive. The one main building is 12 inches long, and it just wasn't going to fit in this area. I think it was 12 inches by 7 inches, and it just overtook the area more than I really wanted to, and especially for having areas for like trucks to come and go, it just was too much. So this is a little bit smaller footprint. It's a small little distillery, but it's still receiving stuff coming in and spitting out lots of booze through that we can send out by either boxcar or by truck. So gives a little switching and some variety. And the nice thing too is I have these cars already, so it gives me a something I can do with these are the repeater ones. So I may actually have to pick up a few more of those. So then I have 2 that can be here, and then these can take off and 2 more can come back in. So I may actually need to get some more of these GP20 tank cars, or I'll start having a look and see who else has similar size, similar style tank cars, and then switch this out for a little while and have this as part of my rotation for switching, and then see if I like it, and then go from there. So if you have any suggestions or comments or anything like that, certainly throw them in below, because I'm all ears to sort of figure out the best way to sort of do this. And again, I'm not necessarily one of those maulers that it has to be 100% perfect, but I'd like to have it semi-accurate. So it's good to know where my whiskey comes from. So cheers from Whiskey Creek. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.